In today's video, I'm going to be doing a jack pouch for a new boxer brief. This is apparel scuba net 4-way stretch. This is the front. I'm going to do the front seam, then I'm going to open it up and top stitch it. And I'm using red thread on this one because it's going to be the front of the brief, and I don't want any black thread on it. And I'm going to be doing a scant 1/4 inch seam on this one. So when I top stitch it on the inside, the decorative stitch I'm going to be doing will be encasing all of the raw edges. And I'm using the lightning bolt stretch stitch on my machine. I guess this would be more like a 3/16 of an inch seam allowance. Because the decorative stitch I'm going to be using is the honeycomb stitch, set at 7mm wide, which will completely cover the inside of the seam allowance. It'll give the kind of a look of a reverse cover stitch. It did creep a little bit. I'm going to trim up the entire seam allowance a little bit with the pinking shears. Just to release the fabric a little bit on the curve. You could clip it all the way, but this apparel scuba knit is pretty forgiving on curves. Of course, now I got little bits of red everywhere. And since it crept a little bit here, I'm going to go ahead and trim that up also. Just so when I put it in the garment, it's accurate as possible. Now I'm going to switch it over to the front. I'm going to use my honeycomb stitch on my machine, which is number 18, 7 millimeters wide and 2.5 stitch length. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-stretch this out a little bit. And I'm going to try and finger press open the seam on the underside here to give it as flat as possible. Took a little bit of wrestling, but got it through. And this is what the front of it looks like. And the inside. See how it almost covers the entire raw edges?